Dear listeners, today on this very special program, we celebrate a man whose name rings across Ijesha land and beyond. The Asiwaju of Ijesha land, Chief Olayinka Fasuyi, on the occasion of his glorious 70th birthday. At 70 is not just a number, but a testimony of resilience, leadership, service, and grace. So I like to implore you to sit back, relax, and enjoy as we walk through this remarkable journey with a sprinkle of wit, wisdom, and of course, laughter. Thank you for joining us on this program.
Thank you very much, Dapo.
Now, Ashiwaju, there's no way we can start this interview without rewinding the clock a little. And then I'll be asking you what growing up was like for you and what values from your childhood still guide you today.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to give glory, adoration, and honor to the Almighty God who has kept me thus far, who has preserved me to date, and to whom I return all honor and glory as I look forward to join the Septuagenarian class in another couple of days. My name is Olayinka Fasuyi. I was born on the 25th of October 1955 to the family of Chief Jacob Olowokere Fasuyi and Madam Felicia Shijola Fasuyi, both of Elisha. My father was a successful businessman in Ijesha land. My mother was also a successful businesswoman in Ijesha land. I went to Otapete Methodist Primary School for my primary education between year 1962 and 1968, and later on went to Elisha Grammar School for my secondary school education between year 1969 and 1973. Thereafter, I went to Lagos, where I worked briefly at the Federal Ministry of Finance, the Federal Ministry of Finance headquarters, Tinubu, Lagos, for about a year. And thereafter again, moved forward to work at the National Electric Power Authority,
NEPA.
Marina,
Okay.
headquarters in Lagos in 1976. In 1977, I went to the Federal School of Arts and Sciences for my A levels, where I left in 79, and 79-80 session I proceeded to the University of Ibadan for a 3-year course in economics. So in 1982-83, I graduated with honors in BSc Economics from the University of Ibadan in Ibadan. And thereafter, I went for my NYSC in the then Gungola State, Yola, in 1984, and came back in 1984. By 1985, I joined the Federal Ministry of Education, Lagos, headquarters, to work. And from there, I was posted to teach as a tutor at the federal government Queen's College, Unike.
Okay,
Yaba,
let me just interject at this moment now. Now, while reading your tribute, there was one particular tribute from one of your close friends that mentioned that you also bear the name Linton. How did that name come back? Because you've been going into some other things you will still talk about during the course of the interview. So I want us to slow it down. Now, that name Linton, how did you come about the name Linton?
In 1971, when I was in Form 3 at Elisha Grammar School, I decided to give myself the name Linton. In actual fact, I was christened as Gabriel Olayinka Fasuyi at birth. But while in secondary school, I decided to drop the name Gabriel
Gabriel, okay.
and substitute it with Linton.
Linton.
I just want something to uh, funkify the
Something unique.
the personality.
Okay.
And
You were carrying there.
the name Linton was coined from a Linton.
A Linton.
Linton. So if you check the word in the dictionary, you'll probably find a Linton. Alington. So, but over time, it was shortened to Linton.
Okay.
So, in short, by the time I was registering for my WAEC at Elisha Grammar School, I had to put in there Olayinka Linton Fasuyi. So, all my certificates to today
Still bear that name.
bear
Linton.
Olayinka Linton Fasuyi. Even though by the time when I was in the university, um, for most of my friends, they knew me as Yinka Linton. I wasn't. There are reasons for that too. When I was in the federal school, I um, I was accused of a crisis I was never part of, to the extent that the school management put up a committee to investigate the riot in the school. And very unfortunate for me, I the teacher that headed the committee happens to be pursuing a lady girlfriend of mine in school.
Even
then.
as at that time.
As at that period, of course, HSC level, I was already fully grown. In secondary school, we were already social champions, so toppers of federal school. So the man now saw it as a good opportunity uh, to uh, to deal with me, so to speak, and now coined me to be the mastermind of the crisis, which I never knew anything about.
them.
As fate will have it, I was suspended. So, but the luck I had was that I'd registered for my A levels, so I was only allowed to come and write
The
my A
exams.
levels. But luckily, I was very balanced by the time I came to federal school because I had the best result from HSC 1 to HSC 2. So, and luckily too, by the time I also completed HSC 2, I still had the best result from my class of CBA, chemistry, biology, economics. So when I got to the university, I was very careful that I didn't want to go. I mean, just trying to avoid anything problem, and that will impinge on my family name. So
And the integrity you've been building for yourself.
exactly that. So I now said, okay, Yinka Linton. Most people, most friends, they call me Linton. Their name, except those who knew me from Elisha, knew me as Fasuyi. But for most other friends, they thought Linton was my surname. So not until after I'd exited the university that I now brought back the Fasuyi properly and I dropped the Linton. So because again, of course, with as an African, the English name is not sitting well properly with me. So I don't introduce myself as Linton. Rather, either Olayinka Fasuyi or Olayinka Fasuyi.
In one of those tributes too, I read that you have this consciousness for fashion. You've been a fashionista as early as um, probably while you were in secondary school or then. And what actually brought about this consciousness relating to fashion too?
Um,
And you're still wearing it even by the time as you clock 70, you're still wearing
eh,
that garb.
okay, maybe the best way to answer this was about 6 years ago. That was 2019 when we had the 48th anniversary of my late father, Chief Jacob Olayinka Fasuyi. So the family, we had a memorial, you know, published in the all the major newspapers, Punch, Tribune, Guardian, and the rest. So I on that day, uh, a known personality, Dr. Olajide, popularly known as Espresso in Ibadan, saw one of the publications and now called me on phone. He said, "Oh, Asiwaju, and I know the secret of your uh, uh, dressing code and style that he never knew that I met it at all." The picture was my father. Uh, when that picture was taken, you remember it was the 40th anniversary of his demise. My father died in May 1979, and this memorial publication came up in May 2019, 40 years after. And that particular dress my father was putting on in the picture was taken when he was around 60 years of age. So my father died at 89, age 89. So if you look at the difference between age 89, between age 60 and 89,
89, that was
that is
30
39,
years.
39,
39
39
years, yeah.
years. So then when you now had 39 years from 40 years after his demise, so that becomes 79 years or almost 80
80
years.
years.
So 80 years, the picture we used in the publication was taken 80 years back. So 80 years tells a story of a father, of a parent that was fashionista. So one of the things my father was noted for in Ijesha land was his dress sense. You know, Um I could remember many of the Ashoetu, Alari, and the likes. You can't iron them. You have to punch, to iron to get them into shape. Okay, and the embroidery was one thing that I'd always loved, appreciated, and so as early as early secondary school days, when I also buy materials and make sure that
You've been
I
able
look
to
well,
imbibe those
imbibe those
traits
traits
from your
from the
late
secondary school,
father.
from my late father.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's talk about the place of discipline and hard work while you were growing up. Is it something that you took early too, or was it later in life that you started appreciating all those virtues of hard work and discipline?
The I grew up following my father to the shop, and our shop was located in Ereja. Ereja can be likened to the Broad Street of Lagos or the Wall Street in New York.
Okay.
So Ereja, you also appreciate it, served the entire Ijesha land, Ekiti State, and some part of Ondo State. Many people come from these other states to Ilesha to make their purchases, of housing materials, uh, uh, farming materials, and all of that from Ilesha. So Ilesha has always been a major commercial city hub, that people recognize. So I grew up in Ereja, following my dad to the shop and participating in the day-to-day activity of the business. In actual fact, my dream as a young boy was to take after my dad, after my father, to complete my secondary school education and possibly open
A shop
2, 3 shops
and start
start,
trading. What
So,
products was he actually dealing in there?
farming products.
Okay, farming implements and
Yes, and house building
Materials,
these are the two items
he was
that he
dealing
was
in.
majorly in. So, my dream was to complete my secondary school and also get a shop or two and start practicing the trade. But as fate will also have it, after the secondary school education, my father asked me to go and join my senior brothers in Lagos. So I went to one of them, late of blessed memory, late Ada Emmanuel Olatunde Fasuyi. That was more or less the game changer because it was the one that now concerned that Ayinka business could be good, but not should not be taken. You should explore a more challenging career because of your later future than the business. So the business acumen foundation was laid. Why? I mean, following my father to the shop. So yeah, the basic streetwise native intelligence and that you cannot get rid of in
from
any
the walls of the
university.
classroom.
Yeah, all of those skills were imbibed at the early stage, while I was following my father to the shop. So by the time I was staying with my senior brother Olatunde Fasuyi, he changed my orientation.
Okay.
I'm now back to the classroom again. You see, rather than going to open a shop, I decided to go for the federal school for my A levels, go to the university, and from there, I started to work. While working too, I also went for further studies. My first master's in industrial and labor relations, my second master's in business administration, my third master's in information science. So all of this culminated in assisting me to start the business of management consulting, which I started 33 years ago
Okay.
after voluntarily resigning from Total.
Okay. We'll get to that part later. Now, at the point you left for Lagos, and now two questions. You left for Lagos, and along the line, You're going to Lagos. How was it able to, and your academic journey, how was it really able to shape your life?
Yeah, I think I've said it, but I can always repeat it.
Hmm.
The if you cannot give what you don't have. If you are going to be, for instance, if you are going to be a management consultant, that I am, to the glory of God, in the last 30 years, you have to first of all develop yourself. And developing yourself, that means you have to obtain the necessary education, enhance yourself, build yourself, um, build your capacity, knowledge capacity, skill capacity, and all of that. So, my changing of interest from being a businessman, from being a local businessman, to decided to pick. I didn't. My going to school was not initially to become a management consultant, but just to be able to empower myself adequately enough to enable me get um, a good build a career
Okay.
in whatever I'm
Because I
probably
wanted
to
to
do.
ask what actually was the career you had in mind then that you wanted to follow while you were going to school?
Yeah, most careers,
You wanted to be a doctor. It didn't occur to you you wanted to be a doctor, an engineer, or something like that?
I've always loved to be an administrator.
Okay.
And in secondary school, I was very good in economics. At the A levels, I was also very comfortable with economics. But the story almost changed when I got to the university. I enrolled for economics with the assumption that economics was as simple
That's what it
as it
used to be in the
was in the
secondary
O
school. Hmm.
level, secondary school, and A levels. But when I got to the university, it became a different ball game. The mathematics component in the economics was very frightening. And in short, at a point in time, some of my friends in university were addressing, you calling me my popular name, Linton. Don't you, this economics that you have enrolled for, we want to advise you to either change to sociology or political science. Otherwise, you will have so many carryovers that they will throw you out of this economics that you'll be able to finish it. So I was okay. I was not contemplating whether I should change or I should
Stay put.
stay.
Hmm.
Then later on, by the second semester, I noticed that there were quite a number of other students in political science, in sociology, who in psychology, who are attempting to change
To
their courses to
economics.
economics. So I couldn't find anybody changing from economics to
Any other department.
supposedly
Hmm.
lower competitive
Courses.
department
Hmm.
courses. So I now asked myself, and I reflected that, okay, why should I leave the course others are struggling to enroll for a lesser or competitive course? Then I remember that I love Ebenezer Obey's music. So in my room, A53, Teda Hall, University of Ibadan, I will put Ebenezer Obey's music in the cassette player. And of course, I will help myself with a cold, chilled bottle of Gouda. And lo and behold, no matter all the mathematical problems that I had to solve, I will always get rid of
Which
them.
of the Obey song actually did that magic for you?
Oh, there are many,
Okay.
because as far back as 1972, I think that was where my interest uh, uh, developed for bass music. In 1972, I think June 26th, if I'm correct, was when the first LP, long plate
Mm.
of Chief Evidence of the board members was released. And in this Elisha, I went to a place, Odoero, um, to go and to go and eat. There was a restaurant where they sell good rice, And then besides that restaurant, there was a record seller. So, and it was playing the new Obey release. So I had my first plate to enjoy board members, board
Mhm.
members, our friend. I so much loved it. I was asking myself, these people called board members, Yinka Rose,
Mm.
are these people human beings or spirits? I
To
was,
have attained that popularity
and to
then.
have, and
Mm.
then the way, the lyrics, everything, and I said to myself, it would be nice if God um, answers one's prayer to also rise to a level you could,
People praising
sing
musicians,
and,
praising your names and things.
So, I mean, so ever since then, I've built a relationship with a bass
Obey
music.
song.
So it inspires me.
Mm.
And during the inspiration, whenever I'm working on the mathematical
Aspects of your course then.
solutions of the
Mm.
economics, I always get it done. So, so that assisted me to facilitate my reading and my understanding of my course.
The mathematical aspect of
Yeah, and
economics
I
then.
never had any carryover. I
Okay.
passed all my
Okay.
courses without any carryover, to the glory of God.
All right. Now, let me quickly take you back again, probably while you were in secondary school and later in the tertiary institutions. Do you have any unforgettable, school day memory you like to share? The kind that still makes you smile at 70.
Yeah, there was one um, that happened in 1971, which I can never forget. I had this classmate, we were in the same class in Elisha Grammar School. Uh, you have PTXYZ, six hams. I was in 3X. So this friend of mine was also in 3X. I won't mention his name.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, he approached me. I said, Linton, when can I come and greet you at home? So no problem. Anytime. Whenever you are ready, you can come to my house. In the morning, our parents will have gone to their respective markets.
Our parents.
My parents
Okay,
are,
your parents.
yeah,
Okay. Mm.
my father, my mother.
Mm.
So usually the whole house will be virtually empty.
Empty.
So just allow for me to come, and so people. I mean, the parents will start coming
Mm.
until my father had seven wives. So when I use that parents now, we are using a collective chant
Okay.
representing
Okay.
everybody, both my father and all the wives.
Mm.
So this particular afternoon, this gentle friend of mine, followed me home.
Mm.
I was just thinking that okay, on getting to because I had a room to myself
Mm.
in the of the 23 children my father had, I'm the 16th. So the bulk of the elderly ones, they are already in Lagos. Most of them are in Lagos, one or two in Ibadan. So the whole house was more or less available. The bungalow, the story building, another bungalow. So in the story building, there's a wing for my father. There's another wing.
For the wives.
No,
Okay.
the wives are, down,
Okay. Okay.
in the rooms downstairs,
Downstairs. Okay.
and the bungalows. Okay. So I came in with this friend of mine. Lo and behold, he asked, Linton, do you have powder? I said, powder? What do you need a powder for? So I now I stepped out of that, but I don't use powder up to the up to today. I don't use powder. So I went to a room downstairs. I guess my mother's room. I got the dusting powder and I brought it up for him. I never knew his intention. Suddenly, this guy brought out an item from his pocket. Guess what it was? India hemp. I was shaking. He wrapped it, he lit it, he smoked it. After smoking, he collected the powder from me. I never knew that anybody could open that
Dusting
dusty
powder.
powder.
They not the head.
No, so I just believe that it's just to
Okay.
shake and pull on.
Whoa.
The guy just pulled
That head off.
the head off. It was like a magic, and then spread some portion of it on his, to blow it
In your room
in the because no, so in
to
order
disperse the
the
smell
smell, to take away the smell
of the Indian.
of the India. That was the end of our
Your
friendship.
relationship with your with that friend of yours.
Because if my father or my parent gets to know of that, that could be the end of my life. So the training we are given is a training of integrity, of character, of diligence, and that is why till tomorrow I'm able to say that in the families and dynasties in Keshaland today, our family, the Fasuyi family, is about I can say without any fear of contradiction, the most united, because there is no discrimination. For instance, that my senior brother that I went to in
In
Lagos
Lagos.
was my closest confidant in the family. They are not of the same mother, but of the same father. So also all of us, we always speak. It wasn't as if it was formally arranged. We always speak our confidence from another mother side. Are you following me? So, and we all also hit from the same pot. So, so the training of hard work, diligence, integrity, we picked that. I picked that from my parents.
But the picture we caught from, people coming from polygamous homes, is that, there's this element of diabolism and things like that. And that was it? It wasn't like that during your time, or just give me an insight into what it was like then.
I've just told you what was obtainable in my family. I don't live in other. I only hear
You okay?
of what happens
In other families.
But in the Fasuyi dynasty, the love is unique
Unique.
till today. So anything, anybody is having any function, we move around. I can sleep on the same bed with my other senior brothers,
Your siblings.
siblings, So I mean, and we are so united,
Okay.
and the love bites amongst us all.
All right. Now, every success story has bumps in the road. What challenges made you stronger during the course of your journey? Then again, I will also want to add this. You've had an impressive career too. Which milestone gives you the deepest sense of pride?
In 2006, um, under President Olusegun Obasanjo,
Obasanjo.
there was all the federal ministries, parastatals, and agencies. They were their human capacity development training was given to the then Minister of FCT, Malam Nasiru
El-Rufai.
Rufai, and then to with the support of the BPSR, Bureau of Public Service,
Reforms.
yeah. So all the civil servants, the management cadre, they were to be given serious human capital development in order to be able to respond more to the challenges and workings of their respective offices. So the federal government now advertised inviting all management consulting firms in Nigeria to express interest. And my firm, Supreme Management Training and Consultancy Services Limited, we saw that advert and we also
Put in
expressed
for it.
interest. About 4 weeks after, we received an invite to come to Abuja. Luckily, I had an office in Abuja, but I stay more in Ibadan, which is where we have the head office. So I went to Abuja for this meeting. The meeting held at the Nikon Hotel, Abuja. Then that same day, there was a publication in the paper, in the newspapers, the Guardian, Punch, Tribune, New Nigerian, and So when we got to that venue, and the Honorable Minister Nasiru El-Rufai now got up to address about 500 sitter gathering. I said, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have just invited you all, leading consultancy firms in Nigeria, to share with you the intention of the federal government under President Olusegun Obasanjo to develop the capacity of the leadership of the ministries, departments, and agencies, and the procedure that we had taken to arrive at what we are doing today. He said, you all recollect that about a month ago, we put an advert asking for organization to express
Interest.
and that 500 plus organizations, firms expressed interest, and that he, as a minister, did something which nobody ever did before.
Okay.
That he never confided, not even in his permanent secretary, talk less of his directors, that he requested from his directors the names of the powerful, knowledgeable, renowned consultants, individuals, in Nigeria who are not in practice.
Okay.
And when he got the list, he didn't tell them what he wanted to do with the list. He went through the list and made a short list of the names he wanted. He didn't return the
compilation,
the documents to the sources again. So he invited 12 of these notable, renowned management consultants
that is shortlisted.
And before they came, he had personally gone to book hotels for all the 12 of them. Without telling them, he just told them that, okay, when you are coming to Abuja, you may be spending a few days. He didn't tell them what the assignment, what they'll be coming to do. But the day they came, he personally drove them to the hotel, El Rufai. And on getting to the hotel, he gave them phones. He withdrew their own personal
that
phone
they came with.
They came with. That okay, you want to call your wife, in particular, you are not under arrest. Nobody has kidnapped you, but you are doing a national assignment. But we don't want you to reach out to anybody.
Okay.
Until you are done with
this assignment.
So he locked up these people, feeding them, working morning till night. What were they doing? To shortlist the 500 plus firms that had applied. So look at the methodologies they have proposed, their experiences, everything as contained in their letters of expression of interest. So at the completion of the exercise was completed a day before the meeting. They too were just hearing for the first time how the procedure the minister took. So when the result was now to be announced, all the so-called big international management consulting, they were all also in the same hall with us. And he said, for those of you who have obtained today's daily, you will see all the names of the 114 who are in this hall. 114 firms have been shortlisted. Out of this 114, he now said, where is Supreme Management Training and Consultancy Services Limited? And I stood up. My company's name was number one. So that's the best management consulting firm.
Out of all the big names that applied to be a part of that program. I don't want to mention names. I know big consulting names in Nigeria there.
The KPFG,
the Philips Consulting and Supreme came out top.
Yes, please. Number one. So honestly,
You felt on top of the world.
that's when you there is no better professional fulfillment. Maybe a corollary to that was around the same period. This should be around 2005, the year before. We applied for a job in the National Planning Commission head office in Abuja, Supreme Management Training and Consulting Services Limited. So when we have packaged our submission, then there was no flight between Ibadan and Abuja. So you have to travel by road. I had to ask one of my staff by name Jide Sansaliu to take our submission, very big package to Abuja by road. When he was leaving, out of confidence, I told him that there's nobody, no farm in this country that can beat us. I just, out of tuition, I just said it,
Okay.
So he took the
Package.
to Abuja through public transport. After about a month, we didn't hear
From the MPC.
No, nothing, no call, nobody. I was worried. What could have happened? The week after, which was the 5th week, I went to Abuja myself. I went to that National Planning Commission office. I said, we submitted a proposal in respect of so assignment, and we've not had any feedback. 5 weeks after. Okay. They said, okay. Which organization? I said, super. Okay. They are still working on it. They will get back to us when they are done with it. Okay. I felt satisfied. I came back to Ibadan. Another 2 months, maybe 3 months, no information again. I went back to that Abuja. When I got there, no response. They just said they have cancelled that assignment. That they are no longer going to carry out the assignment. I felt disappointment and I returned to Ibadan. But a year and a half
thereafter,
yes, a year, 2 years after, a year and a half after, a year and a half after, the then SA to Chief Bola Ige, the road safety.
That's Agunloye.
His daughter was getting married in Ibadan at All Saints Church, Jericho, Ibadan. And I was at that service. When we got to the reception of that service, a friend sat near me. We were having drinks, we were having meals, and after a while, the friend beckoned on me, said, Linton, I wasn't actually then, 2005, 2007, early 2007. He said, can we get out of this reception hall and he wants to share something with me. Okay. being somebody I respect very well and I love, I regard, so I got up. We were walking away from the reception to a less serene place, not no noise. He now said, Linton, that he has a secret to divulge to me, provided I'm going to give an undertaking that I'm not going to disclose it. I said, yeah, I'm not going to. He said, no, no. He said, write it. And, you know, so before we left where we sat, he already picked a paper and a Bible. So he dictated to me what I should write. And I wrote it.
An undertaking.
An undertaking. So when I wrote it, I handed it over to him. He now said, you apply for a job. You bidded for an assignment at the National Planning Commission. So yeah. I said yes. He now asked me, do you remember? I said I remember. Of course I remember. He now said the organization came first, best and first. But that the power that be in the system had interest in that assignment. And that while your firm, Supreme Management Training and Consultant Services Limited, scored 96%. The next firm that was given that job
assignment
scored 73%. Do you know how happy I was that I gave my word to my staff who went to Abuja that nobody in this country,
no firm
can beat us
you
on
people.
this assignment. It gave me a lot of relief. You see, when you assess your capacity and somehow the result or the outcome is not correlating with that, it gives you some worries, especially psychological worries. So that day, I thanked my God, I thanked my friend, and I told him that, look, I'll never take
You
it
won't
up.
divulge, you won't reveal that information.
So it's another fulfillment in my career that I always, anytime I remember.
But of course, you'll be left with an impression about Nigeria then. What was that impression?
The impression, what I suffered in that particular episode may not be the best, but I will also say that maybe it's not peculiar to our society. So it's not peculiar. So it happens once in a while.
Okay.
So I just see it as one of those,
All right. Because of our time, now let's come to your service to Ijesha land. Now, which of your contributions to Ijesha land gives you the greatest joy, and how do you personally measure your service to Ijesha land?
when let me start by giving glory and adoration to the Almighty God, because I never planned to become Asiwaju. Reason being that I have always declined chieftaincy titles over the years at public or social functions. On several occasions, when I would be introduced as chief Olayinka Fasuyi, or Chief Yinka Fasuyi. The highest opportunity I have in laying my hands on the microphone, what I do was to correct that I am not a chief, but Mr. Yinka Fasuyi. Where I go out with my wife, and we are introduced as Chief Yinka Fasuyi and Dr. Mrs. Fasuyi. I will also correct. The correct name or names are Mr. Yinka Fasuyi and Dr. Mrs. Fasuyi. So I've been off people over the years, but I've not always loved it. I Chief Commander Ebenezer Obey played a significant role in my becoming Asiwaju. I want to believe that it was him that God used to actually uh, initiate the concept of Asiwaju chieftaincy title. In years past, myself, I used to coordinate um, a group of four friends of mine, Tunde Falasino, Rotimi Obeiso, and Wale Shodepo, where we will invite Obi to come and play for us in Ibadan in our compound. And Chief Commander Ebenezer Obi, recognizing the fact that I'm the coordinator of the group of four. So whenever he sings, he will say Asiwaju Ibadan group of four, or he will sing Asiwaju Ibadan group of friends. So up till 10 years ago, an event happened at my 60th birthday where Chief Commander Ebenezer Obey played. Very unlike him, rather than singing Asiwaju Ibadan group of four, or Asiwaju Ibadan group of friends, we were just singing Asiwaju Yinka Fasuyi throughout that day. So 2 days or thereabout after the birthday in Ibadan, my senior brothers called me from Lagos. Yinka, ó tẹ̀ ti jóye ó tẹ̀ sọ fún wa. Wọ́n ní mi ò jóye, oyè wo ni? Wọ́n ní ṣé tí ń dun àwọn ni nígbà tí Òbí pé gbogbo nǹkan tó Aṣíwájú àní báyìí báyìí nìkan tó ṣe ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ni o, Aṣíwájú báyìí báyìí group of four, group of kọ̀ọ̀kan yẹn ni. Wọ́n ní máa tọrọ ẹ̀ ń bẹ̀. The people came from all walks of life for that birthday, which to the glory of God took about 8 days in celebration. Many of the chiefs that came from Ilesha who attended, one of them was Chief Ayuagbede, the Lorunyi of Okeyin, who was a confidant of our Imperial Majesty, Paramount Ruler Obag, Dr. Gabriel Adekunle Aromalao. So he attended. So I was baffled, I was amazed at the level of attendance, the quality of attendance,
the caliber of guests,
and all of that. So when he was returning to Ibadan, to Ilesha, he went with the brochure, the program brochure, the church, the reception, and he also managed to get a copy of my two organizations' brochure, the brochure for Supreme, the brochure for Ibadan Business School. So which, when he got to Ilesha, he took them to Babakabisi or Romalao. That there's this person in Ibadan, Ijesha, who was being called by Asiwaju, and he doesn't have any chieftaincy title. He wants to suggest to Baba. He suggests to Baba that this is the kind of person you could be made Asiwaju. So that's another for another time. So after some time, after a couple of months, because my birthday, 60th birthday, happened on the 25th of October, 2015. So it took almost another 1 year. October 22, just 3 days short of my next birthday before I was eventually installed. When I was installed on Saturday, 26th, 22nd of October 2016, I think um, another development that happened shaped the conception and views of Babakabesi over Aromanama. The crowd that attended my installation, Babakabesi over Adekunle Aromanama, said it openly that in his 35 years on being
On the throne.
that he has never witnessed this crowd. That not even when the sitting vice president Atiku Abubakar was made Atorishe, that crowd was not anything near what it was witnessing today. For those of you, if you knew where Kabiyesi Arobara was living along the Ijebu-Ijesha road, to enter the palace that day took him 1 hour, 3 minutes. He couldn't gain access, it's part of the siren and all of that. In short, the incumbent vice chancellor of the University of Ibadan was on his feet. He couldn't get his seat throughout the ceremony. That is Professor Asiwaju Olayinka. The expectation was very high. So to answer your question,
Now,
I'm still going to. I just lay the preamble for that.
The foundation for that respect. Okay.
The first challenge Baba gave me at my installation and that of my wife, as he assured you, was that I should build him a palace.
A befitting one.
A befitting one. Because the bungalow, after the old one got burnt, was what was being used. And the bungalow, if you have stay there, it's very, very, unbefitting. So, and previously, there are two different, at different time, committees put in place, but unfortunately could not deliver on the palace project. So when I became Asiwaju on that 22nd of October 2016, I decided that okay, I need to build confidence with the Ijesha people so that they can trust me and they can entrust their resources to me for us to work together and make difference. I always love to make, if I'm going to serve in any place where I'm not going to perform, I'd rather not take that
Be a
responsibility.
part of that association.
I was president of the Ibadan Education Club, the first cosmopolitan club in Africa, established in 1902. I was the president 20 years ago, and my footprints are there till tomorrow to be appreciated. So I introduced bursary payment for WAEC students in all the 6 local governments of Ijesha land,
Ijisha land, yes, I remember
and
that time.
so who are paying. So when people realized, people initially thought
It was
Asiwaju was doing
politically motivated.
for
No, no, no,
politics.
no.
I told people,
Mm,
look, I don't, you don't have to be in politics before you can serve your
mm,
people.
mm.
So, but after the third edition, when the election had taken place in Osun, both at federal and state, and they realized that, okay,
You
nobody
didn't
saw
come
my
out
poster
to.
anywhere, I didn't lobby
Mm,
anywhere.
mm,
And I said, oh, so this man, it was after then that I came up with the idea of the palace. And to God be the glory. In 9 months, I was able to mobilize Ijesha, home and abroad, and we built a befitting palace in 9 months. And that 9 months coincided with the peak period of the COVID-19 across the globe, where many lives have been lost here and there. So, all interventions that it has pleased God for me to champion, they are considered important landmark projects. You have
the geriatric
the
center.
geriatric
Mm-hmm.
hospital.
Mm.
The geriatric
Hospital. Yeah.
hospital, if you look at the geriatric hospital today, after completing the palace in 9 months, we now sat down that, okay, what project do we embark upon that can serve the needs, the large majority of our people?
Mm.
And also, it was the period of COVID. And luckily for us, we had in our midst, in the Gesha Community Development Assembly, which is the body that which is the vehicle where I am the chairman, that we are using to prosecute, execute, implement all these development projects. So I established a committee of three under the headship of Professor Isaac Folorunsho Adewale, who was a former Minister of Health, Professor Oyegureje, and Professor Biodun Lesami, who was a former CMD of
UCH.
UCH.
Mm.
So I established that committee to look at, okay, I want to do health projects. So what health projects do we focus on? And this committee, recommended the geriatric, so which we now also champion the mobilization of Gesha to build it. Okay. Then the university. So that's why it's difficult. The university, can you imagine Ijesha land, the political, geographical, cultural, commercial headquarters of Ijesha
Headquarters.
land,
Mm.
Ijesha, has no single university. And all the neighboring towns, Oshogbo, Ede, Iwo, Ado, you name it, they have 1, 2, 3. How do we justify that? So when on Wednesday, 10th of April 2019, I had a meeting with the then Excellency Governor Oyetola. Please, let's take advantage of the low hanging fruit. How do you please assist us to upgrade the College of Education, which was then the second oldest College of Education in the whole of the Federation,
Mm.
as at already 42 years by then,
Mm.
to a university? It was a long journey. He said, okay, Ashwaju, go and bring the proposal. This was right in his office, you know. But to cut a long story short,
Mm.
by the time we were opening the geriatric center hospital on Thursday, 31st of March, year 2022, and when Governor Adeboyega Oyetola came, as he took his seat, he looked straight, he shook his head in disbelief, a pleasant disbelief, that you shall have done this again, back to back, without taking a dime from the local government, from the state government, from the federal government, from anywhere. But all the money we have raised, mobilized, they have money from Egyptian sons and daughters. So it was at that occasion that he now said, he believed that Asiwaju, with this, I know Idisha deserves and can support the university. It was at that same occasion where he announced the establishment
Of the University of Idisha.
Yes, please. Yeah.
All right, quickly in one sentence, Asiwaju, or a word, if Ijeshaland could speak, what do you think she will say to you on your 70th birthday? One sentence, one word, before we move on to the other questions we have for you.
Egyptians, they are already saying that.
Okay,
well
so
done,
what did they?
our Asiwaju.
Well done, Asiwaju. Okay, now, how has your wife and family been your pillar through this journey so far?
He who finds a good wife,
Not just a wife, a
not just
good wife.
a
Okay.
good wife. That's
Okay.
why I qualify.
I got it.
Finds a treasure.
Mm.
I will use just two instances for you to appreciate the importance, the role my wife has played in my life, and the success story of my life. One was in 1992 when I had our first biggest job in Yola. We were paid a very handsome money. That money, when we received the check in Yola and I returned to Ibadan, I couldn't lodge the check. I first of all, I made a photocopy, 100 copies of the check. The original, I put it in an envelope and I kept it under my pillow.
What was responsible for that?
I was just, I couldn't just believe that.
No, you could.
So by 1 a.m., I will lift up the pillow and look at that is still there. I keep the money back there. So in case it's missing, that's why I make photocopies.
All those photocopies, 100 copies. 100 copies.
I said 100. I just want, that's what I did.
Okay.
So then we were living in Bodija, New Bodija, 4 houses away from our residence. There was a very beautiful bungalow that had just been completed, which was put out for sale. So I told my wife, in this vicinity, beautiful vicinity, we can become landlord and landlady instead of being tenants. So we said, okay, let's go there. We went there. We negotiated. Okay, how much was the money? Nobody even asked that question.
Okay. I thought you wanted to keep it. You didn't want to divulge it.
100,000 naira.
Okay, that was the princely sum then.
Yeah, 100,000 naira. So we went there. We negotiated that house, and they were willing to sell it for 90,000 naira. So we came back. We returned back home because I was yet to lodge
the check. Okay.
Until we have decided on what to do with the money. So on getting back home, after reflecting on either to become a landlord, to transit from a tenant to a landlord or not, I now reflected that, okay, maybe we should use this money rather than consume it. We should use it to produce. In the interview I granted, which I'm happy Mr. President also emphasized in a national broadcast, that Nigerians should cultivate the habit of producing as against the habit of consuming. So in 1992, rather than consume that money, I decided to apply that money into production. And how did I do it? I told my wife, I said, let's use this money to build the organization. The organization was still very young, Supreme Management Training and Consultancy Services Limited, and she agreed with me. A bad wife, she said, let's become landlord, let's consume, I went to Lagos, opposite Lagos Airport Hotel. I secured an office there, a whole floor. I hired it, I paid the rent for 1 year, and I employed people to be working there. A week after, I went to Kaduna on Amadu Bello Way. There was Nagwamashe House, which was the headquarters of New Nigerian newspaper.
Newspapers then.
I went there. I got a whole floor. I rented and I paid the rent. And I also employed people to be working there. I returned to Ibadan. I bought 10 vehicles from that money.
From that 100,000.
Yes. A vehicle was selling for 4,000. I bought 10 vehicles. I allocated 3 to my staff in Lagos, to market to Lagos and Ogun State. 4, I took 4 to Kaduna to market the entire northern region. The remaining here, we are marketing from Ibadan to Port Harcourt, southeast and south-south. In the space of 2 years, Supreme Management Training and Consultancy Services Limited became a national firm. And that was why 3 years after, we became the best firm, recognized firm in Nigeria. When you remember the exercise
With
that
the former minister,
Honorable Minister El-Rufai supervised.
Mm.
It was because that 100,000 was used to produce and not consumed on buying a house. So that attests to the quality of wife that I have. Number 2, look at all the developments we have been doing in Ijesha land. Palace, when I put money there, my wife repeats the same. It's on record that the geriatric hospital, are you following me? The geriatric hospital, my wife and I donated a sum of 108 million, which is the largest. It's only a wife could say she is the Asiwaju of Ijesha land, even though she is from Ijebu. Okay. But today, she believes more in Ijesha land than in Ijebu land. And she acts thus. One thing is to profess something and act differently.
Definitely.
But here is a situation. All the sources that I may have recorded as Asiwaju of Ijesha land today, she has been the backbone as the Asiwaju of Ijesha land. Thank you.
All right. Now, how does it feel to cross this milestone with such grace? That is the age of 70, and honestly, you feel 70 or 50 in disguise. What do you think?
You say títí láéláé lọ́pẹ́ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ. Títí láéláé lọ́pẹ́ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ. Títí láéláé lọ́pẹ́ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ. Lọ́pẹ́ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ. Lọ́pẹ́ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ. Lọ́pẹ́ mi lọ́dọ̀ rẹ. It's only God. Because you see, if you look at Nigeria, even though we have advanced in our life expectancy, the time there was when the life expectancy in Nigeria was at 51, thereabout. Today, the life expectancy in Nigeria is age 62. That's the average life expectancy. So if somebody crosses that bar to be hitting 70,
70.
it can only be God.
Sure.
So I give glory to the Almighty God because like I've said previously, I've always seen that age as maybe for you to appreciate it. When I was in Total, Nigeria PLC, I used to have a boss, best memory now. We call not only me, we call my colleagues there. We call him Baba. Then he now asked me, how old was
he
this man we are calling Baba?
Baba then?
He was 48. He was 48, and we are already in our 30s. So we are calling Baba, Baba, Baba. Somebody at 48. So I don't know whether people will be calling him Baba too. Now that in another few days, because honestly, I always look at 70 as a dream. Yeah, I want you look many years, some 30 years ago, when we were still living at that new Bodija, my late mother was living with us. And I didn't know how we arrived at that discussion that particular evening. I just told my mama, I said, Mama, if I die today at age 40, I've achieved. And better so! You see, because like you said, life has been very kind to me. God has been very faithful. You see, and you know, I I give glory to Him because I never looked at 70 as an age. When you look at the kind of so many crimes in our environment here and there, it's only God. I thank God.
All right. Now, finally, what words of wisdom would you like to leave for Ijesha land, Nigeria, and the next generation?
Yeah. I want to limit and focus in the area of my admonition. Ijesha land, that to the glory of God, I have the opportunity, the grace of serving as the Asiwaju for. Hitherto believe that we cannot unite, we cannot mobilize money together here and there. We cannot develop, people were doing that before, but after this, people believe that, okay, maybe this practice is not that sustainable. But I've brought three key legacies, which I believe will continue to uphold, sustain Ijesha land development for continuous development. That is integrity. Integrity. The second one is leadership. And the third one is transparency and accountability. So when you marry all of this, there's no mountain that one cannot move. People will believe in you, they will trust you, they can entrust their resources to you. And then they know that you deliver. That is at the Ijesha land community level. At the national level, we are happy that Ijesha land is the first community to introduce word-based development strategy, which is what we are doing through Ijesha Development Fund, which will be launched on Tuesday, 21st of this month. This concept, government hitherto have been operating with limited involvement of the people, operating what I would rather describe as a top-bottom approach, which alienates the people whom the development exercise is meant for. But in Ijesha land, since I first conceived of this idea in March 2017, but unfortunately his time had not come as at then. But last year, I reintroduced the Ijesha Development Fund, and thank God it has been overwhelmingly accepted. And today, we are giving glory to God. We have put in place ward executives in all the 64 wards in Ijesha land, in all the 6 local government of Ijesha land, whereby development will start from the bottom, where people reside. And not only that, where people themselves will also have a say, where there will be participation, where it will be all inclusive, and most importantly, where development will be most sustainable. It's not going to be a situation of where only the people, the bourgeois, are the one doing it. We are introducing a 10-level intervention, development intervention, where everybody participates. Level 10, the people who can pay 1 million and above. Level 9, people who can pay 500,000 yearly. Level 8, people can pay 250,000 yearly. Level 7, people who can pay 100,000 yearly. Level 6, people who can pay 50,000 naira yearly. Level 5, people who can pay 25,000 naira yearly. Level 4, people who can pay 10,000 naira yearly. Level 3, people who can pay 5,000 naira yearly. Level 2, people who can pay 2,500 naira yearly. And level 1, people who can pay 1,000 naira yearly. Through that, we have been able to bring in a model, a novel development model, which other communities across the country, Federal Republic of Nigeria, will come and emulate in Ijesha land for the growth and sustainable development of Nigeria.
It has been a true honor walking through your inspiring journey. From your roots to your global influence, from your family to your service to Ijesha land, your story is a gift to this generation and those to come. So at 70, you stand not just as a leader, but as a living legacy of wisdom, generosity, and vision. And so on behalf of all our listeners and admirers, we say happy 70th birthday, Asiwaju Olayinka Fasuyi. Now may your years ahead be filled with even greater grace, laughter, and impact. Congratulations, sir. We'd like to end this program by giving credits to
orúkọ Jésù orúkọ Jésù, orúkọ Jésù, yé làwa ó pè é.